Ever feel like you're drowning in to-do lists? Like there's just not enough time in the day to hit deadlines and, have a life.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Right. So let's talk work-life balance, especially because you sent over that 5 tips for managing work-life balance article, which really resonated.
Yeah, it's got some good stuff.
Yeah, it seems super relevant to, well, everything we've been talking about.
Mhm.
And it's geared towards a professional setting, so perfect for this deep dive.
Definitely.
Okay, so tip number 1 is set boundaries, which honestly, some days feels impossible.
It's definitely easier said than done.
Right. So how do we actually make that happen?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be chained to my desk, but I also don't want to be constantly playing catch up.
It's a tough one. I think the key is creating that separation, even if it's just mental. You know how some people, they leave work at work?
Oh, that's the dream.
Right. It sounds silly, but one thing that's helped me is actually setting an alarm at the end of the workday.
Oh, interesting.
It's like a signal to your brain, okay, time to switch gears.
I love that. It's like a mental trick,
Exactly.
which, speaking of mental tricks, the next tip is prioritize tasks. This is the one where I personally struggle.
Yeah,
Oh, I get so bogged down.
you're not alone. I mean, most of us have way more on our plates than is humanly possible to handle. It's like that, have you heard of the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule?
Yeah.
So it suggests that 80% of our results come from just 20% of our efforts.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Right, so if we can just identify those high-impact tasks, that crucial
So
20%.
it's like focus on what actually moves the needle.
Exactly.
Okay, but how do you avoid getting stuck in the other 80%?
Well, that brings us to the next tip, right?
Delegate when possible, which, again, easier said than done.
Oh, 100%. Delegation is an art. But a good starting point, I think, is to ask yourself, is this something someone else could handle if I gave them clear instructions?
Ooh, I like that.
If it doesn't require your unique expertise, delegate it.
It frees you up to focus on the things that only you can do.
Exactly.
And sometimes the best way to be productive is to actually stop working.
Mm.
Which brings us to my favorite tip. Take breaks.
Yes.
Such a huge advocate for
You
that.
have the science to back it up. I mean, even just 5-minute breaks can make a world of difference.
Oh, totally.
It's like hitting the refresh button on your brain.
A quick walk, a few minutes of meditation. Those little pauses can really change your whole mindset.
Absolutely.
It's about working smarter, not harder, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and finally, the one I struggle with the most. Self-care.
Yes. Practice self-care.
It always feels like it should be the reward, not part of the routine.
I know, but we have to reframe that thinking because self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. And it doesn't have to be this big, elaborate thing. Even just incorporating one small act of self-care into your day,
Yeah,
whether it's going for a walk, listening to your favorite song, whatever brings you a little bit of joy,
it all makes a difference.
it can have such a huge impact on your well-being and ultimately your work.
So to recap, we've got set boundaries, prioritize tasks, delegate when possible, take breaks, and practice self-care. 5 deceptively simple tips that I think when combined can be really powerful.
I agree, and I think the key takeaway here is you don't have to do it all at once. Choose one that resonates most with you right now, experiment with it, see what works, and then go from there.
Start small.
Exactly. Small, sustainable changes lead to those big results over time.
I love that.